Today is Thursday the 14th, which again means I am one day late shooting my weekly shop update. However, when I finish shooting this weekly shop update, it's going to be Friday the 15th. It's just been incredibly busy here. I didn't want to miss doing an update this week because there's actually been a lot going on. If you've been following me on Instagram, you have maybe an idea of what's sitting or hanging here next to me, as I should say. And this is a full-size printout from SketchOut of the side profile of the Gamble House rocking chair, living room rocking chair. And as I said in the past, I've been working on this project for an extremely long period of time, researching, testing out parts, looks, and even now I'm still playing around with this. So I want to walk you guys through this, but I also want to show you that I also actually started filming. Yes, I started filming the rocking chair build video because I started making templates. So I started filming, getting these templates together to help build the chair. Now there's just a few templates here I have right here. There's more in the shop. This happens to be the leg profile template, which is right here. This is the rear leg. Okay, so I zoomed in and I'm pretty much got the camera between the top of the crest rail and the bottom of the rocker. And this is full size if I hadn't said it before, which I think I did, and I apologize. The light's probably bouncing off of all the Scotch tape up here. So one of the really important things about this is if you've never purchased a plan from me before, any of my previous projects, I just want to let you know that everything is extremely detailed. And this plan will have all the profiles, side, back, front, top. So let's talk about the chair. First of all, it's got a rocker here on the bottom, and that is at a radius, it's either a 43 or 45 inch radius. For some reason it escaped me. I will put a thing up here and say what the inch of the radius is. I'm pretty sure it's 45, but it could be, let's just find out. But so the rocker's here, and this guy is the piece for the rocker. And as you can see right away, there is a whole bunch of stuff going on. I'm actually missing a little part down here, which I have to add and then redo this, but this is perfect. Let me rephrase that. In the plans, this section is here. So basically there's a carving here, there's a carving here, and there's another carving back here. This carving here is an indentation, and it's kind of like a cloud lift pattern. And the carving here is the same thing, but it's longer. And the carving back here in the bottom in the back and the bottom of the back of the rocker is a carving that matches the carving found in the arm. Now the rocker is going to be put together with bent laminations. We're going to laminate the entire rocker, the rocker first through this width, and then we'll add the other laminations in the front here, the back, where the back leg comes in, and then more here in the back later in the project. First we have to actually establish the rocker, and then we'll add pieces to it. So as we move up, I want you to see that right here, this side rail enters into the front leg at it's 90 degrees right here. There's an angle from, it's a parallelogram, just like the Gamble House living room chair, the Blagger House chair, just about every single famous green and green chair, or not so famous ones. There are parallelograms in the front legs, and this is no different. This parallelogram will have an angled mortise and tenon joint. This guy here, the rear leg, is angled, but the entire leg is angled at an angle in to match the angle of the rocker. So the rocker is not going to be straight, it'll be in like this. So once again, not straight, but in. And this joint here, this rail does not enter the leg at 90 degrees at all. It's in the original chair and the chair that I'm going to build and film for this project. I'm not going to take that shortcut. I don't think it's right. To flatten that and joint it, have it enter at 90 degrees. I'm not going to do that. The original chair is not. It's curved. So to do this joint, it's going to be a house mortise and tenon joint. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to make everything a house mortise and tenon joint in this chair when I build it and film it. So that's what's going on over here. It's a really cool, fun joint. It really is going to take your mortise and tenon joints to the next level to make them housed. And then as you move up, there's this arm panel, and just like in the living room chair, there will be an arm panel here, just like in the rocking chair in the actual house. The arm is angled downward, so there is more of the panel in the front than there is in the back. When I put up a picture of this on Instagram, somebody asked me if the panel is going to have a taper to it. And the actual panel on the chair, as you view it, not in this angle, but straight down to the panel, then so you're viewing it this way, it's actually tapered. It's thicker at the top and thinner on the bottom, and that's not on the outside, it's only on the inside of the chair face. And in the front there's a bead, and that's how you can see that it's tapered. The bead's width does not change, the panel's width changes. And yeah, we're going to do the bead, we're not going to do the taper. I don't know if it really adds anything to the chair. Personally, I think there's more enough support here between the rail and the panel and the arm to provide support for the weight against the arm, as well as the mortise and tenon joint, the angled mortise and tenon joint up here. So if they thought that they had to taper it and make it thicker to just provide more support, then that's great, but I really don't think that's necessary. So that little detail we're going to skip, the tapered part. The bead on the front we're not going to skip. I think that was really cool. I never saw that bead before I actually took a look at the real chair and saw it in person. I've never been able to tell there was a bead there from any photographs I've ever gotten in any of my research, be it in books, postcards, research papers, or wherever I've been pulling all this stuff from. And I've never seen it until I actually was physically this close, well, more like about that close from the chair and that part of the chair. So really interesting stuff. The arm is wider than the living room armchair arm. So the armchair arm is not nearly as wide or in this dimension here as this guy is. So that we're going to work on that. We're going to try to match that as close as possible. The front leg over here, this is rounded. Both are rounded by hand, you could tell, in this forward view, not in the side view. So going to match all that stuff as well. Lots of ebony plugs here as well. And as we move up to the crest rail, here you can see it's thick. I'm basing mine on 2 inches thick. The original is more like it came out of a 12-quarter or possibly 16-quarter piece of material. So when you look down on it as if you're standing above the rocker, there is an enormous sweep, absolutely enormous. Somewhere, I'm guessing it's coming out of 12-quarter lumber. So we're gonna make ours out of 8-quarter instead and just sacrifice some of that sweep. The other very interesting thing about the original chair is it's not nearly as tall in this area as the chair we're going to build. So the original chair, if you sit in it, your knees, at least for me, I'm 5'7", my knees came up so high they were uncomfortable when I was sitting. So I've changed the height of the chair to match the same height that Sam Maloof would talk about when he built rocking chairs. So 17 inches in the front, I've changed the arm height. I don't remember what he said inches wise right now, but I've matched the arm height to the same arm height he had. And that came out of an article in Fine Woodworking where he talked about how he built his rocker. So I took those heights, which I pretty much figured if he knew how to do it, and he was doing it right for the people around our generations, before me, or one or two generations before me, plus my generation, height-wise, that he's probably spot on. And by the way, I think that's another thing. I think I tilted the back. I made the back angle just a little bit steeper than the original as well. People at that time period wore tighter clothes, and they had different postures than we do now. So their clothes were more formal and formed, right? So they stood more upright. They were in heavy set wool, and the pieces were much more, I'm not sure what the word I'm looking for. I don't want to say lined, but they had more structure to them. And they didn't have as loose fitting clothing as we have these days. So I have actually made the angle of the back a little bit steeper than the original chair as well, towards other angles of backs I've made before to help make the chair more comfortable. So this might have been a little bit longer of an update than usual, and I just really wanted, I'm excited. So I wanted to share some stuff with you guys about the chair, the templates, and all that fun stuff I've been working on this week. And I hope you liked it too. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comments for this video. And please subscribe, share it with your friends, tell your neighbors. And just most importantly, I hope you have a great week in your shop, because I had a really great week in my shop this week. And I'm really, really looking forward to next week and what I have to show you guys, because it may not be a Wednesday to Wednesday thing, but nonetheless, I'm really looking forward to getting back into the shop this weekend, tomorrow, even on Friday, and just starting to rip away at this thing. So until then, I'll talk to you guys next week.